Focus us,
You
yes.
all. Thank you for your participation, though we are few today. So today I'm going to present in the topic NATO. NATO stands for North Atlantic Treaty Organization. North Atlantic is a name of sea. There is a Pacific Sea, Indian Sea, and Atlantic Sea. So this regional group is formed, or this is a security alliance that is formed in the North Atlantic region. It covers two continents, that is North America and the part of Europe. Altogether, there are 30 members currently in this security alliance, and we will go few more about NATO in next slide. So NATO is a military alliance consisting 28 members. Sorry, I need to update this. There are 30 members now. So this is a military or security alliance consisting of 30 member states. This NATO organization is just covering its membership from the North America continent and Europe continent. Two continents are comprising around 30 member states in this military alliance organization. This organization was established in 4th April 1949 after the end of Second World War in 1945. And this organization was just established after signing the treaty known as Washington Treaty. This treaty is also known as Washington Treaty, and it is also can be known as the North Atlantic Treaty, which was signed on 4th April 1949, which led to the establishment of that foundation of this security alliance or military alliance organization known as NATO. The beautiful thing about this organization is it is still alive. There was a counter organization to this organization, that was Warsaw Pact, which was in the leadership of old Russian Federation or USSR. This NATO has a treaty or agreement among the 12 founding memberships. There were 12 members during the foundation or establishment of this organization, and they had one treaty. So the Article 5 of that treaty states that an armed attack against one or more of them shall be considered as an attack against all of them. So if any NATO nation, there were 12 members in the beginning, now there are 30 members at present. So in the treaty, in the Article 5 of the treaty of this NATO treaty, it is mentioned that if there is any type of attack, if there is any type of security threats, and if there is any type of warfare like situation to any of the NATO member state, then that shall be considered as the attack or war in all of the NATO members. So they will combat or fight against their enemies. So this is the main notion of establishing this security alliance organization, comprising 12 member states at beginning, and which is expanded to 30 member state by 2020. And already the Warsaw Pact is already dissolved, which was counter to the this NATO organization. This NATO organization was headed by United States of America, and the counter organization Warsaw Pact, which was the similar type of organization, was headed by the old Russian Federation. Later on, the Russian Federation was dissolved itself, and which also led to the dissolvement of their security alliance known as Warsaw Pact. So moving to next slide. You can see the membership of NATO. There are currently 30 membership. There were 12 members, founding members of this NATO organization, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, in 1949. Then after 1952, Greece and Turkey added to this Security Alliance Organization. In 1955, Germany was added. In 1982, Spain was added. In 1999, Czech Republic, Hungary, and Poland was added. In 2004, Bulgaria, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia was added to this security organization. And in 2009, Albania and Croatia was added to this organization. In 2017, Montenegro was added to this organization. And in 2020, North Macedonia was added to this security organization. So these all added nation comprises 30 member state in this security alliance organization, which were only 12 member state during the foundation or establishment of this organization. Actually, the Germany that was added in this 1955 was later on it was splitted to the two Germany during the World War, Second World War. The Germany, the lost part of Germany was, eastern part of Germany was just lost to the Poland and old Russian Federation. So this is probably the West Germany during that period in 1955. To move to next slide, the structure of North Atlantic Treaty Organization is, again I have written here 28 members, which are 30. The two new members are added by 2020. The NATO operation are governed by all these 30 member states, which each sending their delegation to the NATO headquarters, Brussels, Belgium. All of the 30 members state which are under the NATO Security Alliance, they send their representatives, they send their delegation to the headquarters of this organization, which is situated at Brussels, Belgium. And this includes each delegation has a permanent representative on the North Atlantic Council, which is chaired by the General Secretary and has the decision of making power. So the decision making power, the policy making organ of this North Atlantic Treaty Organization is the North Atlantic Council. The North Atlantic Council has the members which are from all the 30 member states, which include the delegation of permanent representatives to the North Atlantic Council. And this North Atlantic Council is chaired by the Secretary General of NATO, and this North Atlantic Council make the decisions, it make the policy for this organization. The Parliamentary Assembly, there is also Parliament Assembly, which is formed by the combination of all these 30 member states, and this Parliamentary Assembly sets the NATO broad strategic goals. It sets the objectives and the goals for this organization. There is also the military committee, as this organization is a security alliance. It is a group or the membership of all the nation that get together for the security purpose, for the security threat, or they just make one type of alliance, thinking that if there would be any war in the future, they would unite together and they would just combat against to the nation that are the enemies of this nation. If any nation is attacking any of the member state of this NATO organization, they all would collectively gather together for fighting against their enemies in a combined or in a united manner. So there is, for this purpose, there is a military committee which is responsible for recommending measures considered necessary for the common defense of NATO area, is made upon the military representatives. So this NATO is the North Atlantic region, which I have already mentioned you that this is the region of North America continent and Europe continent. The countries of North America and the countries of Europe are the member of this NATO organization. They have the permanent treaty for just making one alliance or group for the security purpose and just for the common defense in the within the North Atlantic area, and is made off of the these military representatives, which are from these all 30 member states. There is the selection of military representatives and the military force from all these 30 membership of this organization. To tell more about the organization, this is the organization mechanism of this North Atlantic Treaty Organization. The working structure is somehow like this. There is NATO delegation. This NATO delegation works for the nuclear planning group. The NATO, I have forgot, I have already told you the names of this NATO. So these are the nations like Belgium, Canada, Denmark, France, Italy, and Greece, Turkey, Spain, United States of America, UK. All these are the most of these countries are nuclear countries. They are developed nations. They are powerful nations. The delegations from this NATO membership are responsible for making the new plannings for the nuclear weapons as well. So it was founded, this organization was founded in 1949, and after that they just collaborated for just making the nuclear weapons as well. So there is the group, the delegation from the countries, 30 member state. They just are responsible for, they are just allocated for the nuclear planning group as well. The delegation from this all 30 member state are also in the so their representation in the North Atlantic Council. There is council which is headed by, which is chaired by the Secretary General of this NATO organization, and which make policies and which make decisions for different security purposes in this organization. So the member countries of this NATO member countries has another military representatives. The military representatives from all the 13 member state nation, they form the military committee, and this military committee is the international military staff. If you can see in the other slide, you can see that this military staff is just wandering around the globe where there are security issues, where there is terrorism, and where there are many conflict issues. This NATO military exercise is done there. So another is their subordinate committee. The subordinate committee, it supports to the nuclear planning group, and it also support to the for making decisions and for making policies for the North Atlantic Council. There is General Secretary. It is an international staff. The General Secretary of this organization is also the chair of the North Atlantic Council. So it has an executive body known as Secretary General Secretariat. It has not Secretariat, but it has North Atlantic Council, which is chaired by this Secretary General. And in the military committee, you can see there is Allied Command Operation and Allied Command Transformation. There is allied means there is group of this commands for different type of security issues, and there is also allied, that is the group of command transformation, or making the changes in the policies for the security and military purposes. This both combines for the integrated military command structure. So if there is any security threat, or if there is any security issues within this member state, the military committee will defend it. The military committee will combat for on the behalf of this NATO organization, and protecting and defending all the 30 member state of NATO. So there are some principle of this organization. The principle holds for the solidarity within this organization. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, is an allied of, it is also written 29 here, it is 30. I have recently seen the updated data, and it is, this data was previously not updated, so it is written 29. The principle in this NATO organization, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, the first principle, they collaborate with each other in the name of solidarity. They have one type of harmony. They have peaceful relation with each other. They unite for their common security objectives and goals. So the countries from North America and Europe are committed to fulfill their goal of North Atlantic Treaty that was signed in 4th April 1949. There were 12 founding members, and altogether there are 30 members which are parties of this organization, and they are under the one umbrella fighting against the security issues and security problem within their NATO region. The second principle that is holded by this organization is the principle of freedom. In accordance to the treaty, the fundamental role of NATO is to safeguard the freedom and the security of its member countries by the political and military means. So this NATO organization seeks the freedom of this 30 member state, or the members state of this NATO organization. It will use its political form, it will use political pressure, it will use its political ideologies, it will use its political leadership or negotiation. If that is failed, it will also exercise its military strength, because the NATO nation are too much powerful nation. They are the world's most powerful nuclear nations. You can see Germany, you can see the European all developed nations like UK, and you can also see to the United States of America. These are all nuclear powers. So they will use the political ideologies, political resources, as well as the military resources for seeking the freedom of these NATO nations. The next principle is for the security purpose. The NATO safeguard the allies' common values of the democracy, individual liberty, and the rule of law, and the peaceful resolution of dispute, and promotes the values throughout the Euro-Atlantic region. So it also, which is similar to the freedom, that it also safeguard the security. There should not be any type of border disputes, that penetration of other nation to the any of the NATO countries, any of the disputes and any of the security threats and issue to the NATO membership. So this NATO organization safeguard the allies common values in the form of in the respective of in the respect of democracy, in the manner of individual liberty, and other values such as rule of law, peaceful resolution of disputes. For all these purposes, security, maintaining all the security and peace, NATO collaboration is done, and it works in the principle of maintaining security within this NATO region. The next principle that is holded by this organization is the principle of transatlantic link. The alliance embodied the transatlantic link by which the security of North America and Europe are permanently tied together. It is a practical expression of the effective collective effort among the all members in the support of their common interest. So I have already mentioned you there are two continents involved in this security alliance or grouping. These are the two continents are North America and Europe. So this organization seeks for the linkage of the security issues, linkage for the peace within the NATO area, which covers the boundary of North America and the boundary nations, all the other nations from the Europe. So it is a trans-boundary linkage for the purposes of solidarity among them, freedom in them, and security, maintaining the security and peace in those NATO regions. So we will see now the key events. There are only two slides in this, 2 or 3 slides after this. The key events in this NATO organization. First, this NATO organization was founded or established in 1949 after signing the treaty known as Washington Treaty, or it can be also said as a North Atlantic Treaty, which was signed on 4th April 1949. The next key event in this NATO organization is that in 1989 there was the fall of Berlin Wall. So the fall of Berlin Wall in 1989, that in 1990 reunited the West and East Germany, which make this NATO organization more powerful. How the fall of Berlin Wall makes this NATO organization powerful is that after Second World War, the Germany loses its territory to Poland and old Russian Federation. After that, in 1989, that was the long period of Cold War. There was a struggle between capitalist United States of America and Soviet Federation, or which was spreading its communist ideology to the world, which was old Russian Federation. So the old Russian Federation had one type of vassal state influence to the eastern part of Germany. So that influence of the later on that USSR or old Russian Federation was becoming weaker due to different reasons that other nation from the old United Socialist Soviet Federation of Russia, they disintegrated or they divided into the other state. So the old Russian Federation was becoming weaker. Later on, this Germany was united, and the reason of the NATO region was just become NATO was becoming more stronger. So this also was the key event that Germany is very powerful nation. So the Union of Germany also put some strength in the NATO organization. On the other hand, the organization Warsaw Pact dissolved in 1990 after the dissolvement of Soviet Union. The Soviet Union, old Russian Federation, was divided into 15 other states. So if a big greater nation is divided into 50 other states, it loses territory, it loses military strength. And on the other hand, this NATO organization, on the membership of Germany, on the membership of United States of America, UK, it was becoming more powerful and powerful. The lost territory of Germany was also reunited to the Germany, and there was United Germany in 1989, which is also the key event to the NATO organization, in the sense that the membership was more powerful, and this NATO organization was becoming more powerful in 1989. On the other hand, where Russian Federation was dissolved and the counter organization to this NATO Warsaw Pact was also dissolved in 1990s. The next key event in this NATO organization is in 1991, the NATO develops the partnership with the former adversaries after the breakdown of the Soviet Union. So I have told you that in 1990s, Soviet Union was disintegrated. It was breakdown or dissolved. After the dissolvement of the Soviet Union, there are 15 different nations were splitted from that Soviet Union. So the Russia is again one of the part of that older Soviet Union. Again, Russia is the largest continent. Before now, Russia was much more larger nation, as it was holding the 15 disintegrated or broken down members in one name known as Soviet Union. So after Soviet Union, this NATO organization is strategically put or extend its relation to the non-NATO members, the adversaries such as Russia, other nations such as Afghanistan, and other nation. This NATO organization was becoming more stronger and powerful, and it also develops its partnership to the non-NATO membership as well, which were just countering this NATO. In a manner that this security alliance was becoming more stronger and stronger. And on the other hand, already the Russian Soviet Union was dissolved, and their security alliance Warsaw Pact was also dissolved. So altogether, the partnership was extended to the 40 non-NATO nation. There are 30 NATO nation now, and there is this NATO organization is having relation, is having partnership, is having some sort of negotiation, discussion in different security manners with the 40 non-NATO nations. In 1995, there was NATO enables its first major crisis management operation in Bosnia and Herzegovina. So if you remember this state, Bosnia and Herzegovina, for the purpose of this Bosnia and Herzegovina, France and Germany were having the war. France was saying that this Bosnia and Herzegovina treaty is mine, but Germany was saying that it is our treaty. But at the present, this Bosnia and Herzegovina is declared as an independent state. It is not the state for Germany, and it is neither the state for France. So you can also know that First World War, the cause of First World War was this territory known as Bosnia and Herzegovina. So in 1995, the NATO organization also engaged for the first time the major crisis management. There was management of peace and security in this area. NATO organization influenced to this territory, and later on this territory was declared as an independent territory. So this was a chronological order for development of this NATO organization. In 2001, there was a great terrorist attack known as 9/11, which held on September 11 in the United States of America. It was a large terrorist attack in New York and Washington, in the World Trade Center, where Twin Towers were destroyed by the drone attack by Osama bin Laden. And in that attack, this NATO organization took action. All of the NATO members, they stood united together, and they all put forward their commitment for combating those type of terrorist activities. And they have already created their military alliance, military committee. And this Article 5 of this treaty, NATO treaties, also allows that they will just combat to the nation if other nation is attacking to the any of the NATO nation. All of the NATO member state would unite together and fight against the nation that is having attack to the NATO member state. Or it is not all about the attacks, or it also includes the terrorist attack which was held on 9/11 in 2001 in United States of America. So NATO invokes Article 5 for the first time ever and adopt the border approach to the security. So it extend. Previously, this article was limited to the nation that were attacking NATO in the name of war. But this NATO organization invokes, or it made this area and scope of this NATO organization broader, saying that they will unite together for the terrorist activities and attacks as well. So the last slide. In 2003, the NATO organization takes command on the International Security Assistance Force, ISAF, in Afghanistan. You can see there is the force of, there is a French force, there is United States of America's army military in the Afghanistan. So to handle the terrorism, to tackle with the terrorism and to neutralize the terrorism, they have this NATO organization has deployed this International Security Assistance Force in Afghanistan in 2003. So, which is also the developmental part of this NATO organization. In 2010, NATO adopts the 2010 strategic concept, active engagement in the modern defense. It says that NATO will now expand or extend its scope to the crisis management. They will just unite together for the security, modern type of defense. They will fight against together for the against the terrorism, and in the foundation of this organization, they have already committed to fight against any nation that is attacking to NATO. So this NATO organization is having a summit each year from 1949, and recently in 2016 the NATO summit was held in Poland, and in 2017 that NATO summit was held in Belgium, Brussels, where is the headquarter of NATO as well. And in 2018 there was the summit again in Belgium, Brussels, and the present Secretary General of this NATO organization is Jens Stoltenberg. And in 2019 there was a summit which was in United Kingdom. In 2019, the host of this NATO summit was Prime Minister Boris Johnson of UK. So now this North Atlantic Treaty Organization is a very strong and powerful security organization and alliance in the globe. It is becoming stronger and is stronger day by day. Whereas on the counterpart, the counter organization Warsaw Pact was already dissolved. The old Soviet Union was also dissolved, and from that Soviet Union there were there were splitting 15 member state or independent territories. They are 15 independent territories are now recognized as a state, and this is the as a whole. You can see this is the broad scope of this NATO organization, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, in the common security defense, in the crisis management, in the they are advocating for the anti-terrorism activities and deploying their common military committee or military force to the areas such as Middle East, Afghanistan, and other nations. So this is all about North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO. Thank you. If you have any question, you may put forward. Otherwise, I will just end this session by here.